Hi, you guys. How's everything going? um, there's times in a life of chronic illness where you have a flare. You know what? My eyeglasses glare is like getting to me. I'm going to try to do this. Sans glasses. So there's, I went from being in a very, very bad, abusive, toxic marriage to finally being free of that person, but still being afraid to even walk outside of my front door to get the mail. And now it seems like such a long time, but time passes by so fast. I don't know if that makes sense. Now I want the company of people, whereas before I was so afraid, and I didn't want to let anybody in my life in any kind of circumstance, even friendship. But now I do. And I don't know if I mentioned a couple months ago or so, I tore, I had a severe torn ligament in my knee, and I haven't been able to go to my water exercise class with a bunch of really, really fun women. I don't know if I've mentioned the water exercise class that I found. It's not just exercise, everybody goes at their own pace. They're a trip. See, I'm even smiling just thinking about them and talking about them. They're just so much fun, and I really needed that interaction. And with my knee injury, I mean, the doctor even said don't go to physical therapy for a month. So it just kind of shows you how severe that tear was. Or that strain, sorry. No tears. That'd be bad. So I miss the girls. I miss the women. They're just so much fun, and we just act silly like in the midst of our workout and just laugh. It just kind of dance around to some of the music. We just have a good time. And I really needed that company. And I think I tested out my knee. I was in the pool a couple days ago for, was like 2 hours, which is a lot for me. And the knee seems to be holding up pretty well. I probably still have to take it easy, but yeah, the knee's feeling pretty good. So it's really interesting to me that I have progressed from being afraid to even get my mail to wanting to go and see all the women in this class, and like even missing the local transit bus drivers that I think I know them all, and like I even miss them because during the ride to the pool, you know a lot of times I'm the only one in the bus, and we get to know one another, and it's just I feel like they're kind of friends in a way as well, which is really, really cool. I know that you know everything is gonna come in its time, And I want to have friends, but I want to have the right friends. I want to be wise. Is interesting. Um, that show, I don't know if anybody remembers that show, Millionaire Matchmaker. I think I mentioned her before. She had this psychologist on staff, and the psychologist said, "Don't trust anyone for a year." And I still think of that statement. That it is important, especially when you've been wounded so badly, to just like guard your heart a little bit and don't let anybody in. And I'm sure I've mentioned this before. Make people earn your trust. They have to earn your trust, because if they don't, then you could be letting in yet another toxic, abusive person in your life, and you don't want to do that. And that's one thing I really don't want to do, is I don't want to perpetuate that cycle of just having toxic people in my life over and over and over again. I'm, I think I'm worth it. I think I'm worth it for somebody to make the effort and try to gain my trust, because I value myself that much. And excuse me. There's so many people that get hurt because they go into this cycle of just one person after the other, one relationship after another. And there's some celebrities that I'm sure we can think of that fall into that category of just going through one relationship after another. And actually, one of those celebrities has the same name as I do, but I'm not saying anything. But yeah, you're worth it. Never forget that you're worth somebody working to gain your trust. Watch out for getting love bombed. And those of you who know about narcissism, and I know about narcissism, unfortunately, all too well, having a parent that is one, and having an ex-husband and in-laws who fall into that category. You want to be careful of people that just are too good to be true. I know that sounds so negative, but yeah, there kind of is such thing as somebody coming off as too good to be true right away, because just as I'm guarding my heart, I think the other person should be guarding their heart as well, because they don't know who I am. They don't know if I have a history of not being nice to people, or having negative qualities that you wouldn't want to be around in a friendship or relationship or whatever. Yeah, so they should have the other person should have their heart guarded too. And if their heart is guarded, then they probably won't be love bombing you because they're trying to protect themselves. It's now it makes me think of people that hurt those that are disabled. And like I watch a lot of videos that pertain to actually I found videos that actually relate to what I've gone through. Pretty bad stuff. And it's shocking to see so many comments on these videos of people saying, yeah, I went through that. So did I. So did I. I did too. Same thing. It's kind of terrible that somebody would take advantage of somebody else in such a terrible way. And people that are empaths, which means that people who are just, they've got a really good heart and they couldn't imagine hurting a fly. It's hard for people like this, and I'm like not gonna toot my own horn, but like people like me, we can't conceive the reason why, or one reason why it might hurt so bad when we get burned, when we get abused, when we get in a toxic relationship is we can't conceive of doing the things that the other person did to us. Like our mind just can't go there. We just think, oh my goodness, I can't imagine anybody doing this to somebody. Especially family. You just go, oh my gosh, my response to such a person lately was, if that's how family treats each other, then I'd rather have enemies. But yeah, it's, if you've gone through some bad situations, some toxic relationships, friendships, just remember that you're worth it. You're absolutely worth it. You don't have to take it. And I'm sure I've said this so many times. But mostly I just wanted to share the progress that I've made, that I kind of haven't realized how much progress I've made until recently, when things have kind of slowed down in my life. But they're about to pick up again because I've got I've got things to do. There's things to do post-divorce. So I'll be dealing with that. But gosh, it feels so good to be free from that toxic relationship. And for 3 years, I kept referring to him as my soon-to-be ex-husband. For 3 years, I was calling him that. And it's funny, I had somebody over my house when I swam the 2 hours. An acquaintance came over and swam with me. And he said, "So, how's your husband?" I said, "I'm not married anymore. I don't have a husband." And it was, gosh, I know it sounds terrible, but it feels really good to say that I don't have a husband, because it means that I don't have to put up with the toxicity. I don't have to put up with the abuse. I don't have to put up with this might be a whole new video for a whole new topic for another video. He actually was trying to unalive me. No joke. I came probably this close to being an episode on a true crime series. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But anyway, I'll leave that there until next time, because it's been like over 15 minutes, and I know that not everybody has that kind of attention span, because you get a little brain foggy. So anyway, I just wanted to share progress, and to anybody who's in the dark, who just cannot see for anything, they can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's there. It could be because you're so far away from that opening on the other end that you can't see it yet. But don't lose hope. You will find the end, and it will stop. It will stop eventually. But you got to be strong and maintain those boundaries, and don't let that person in again. So anyway, progress. Good. So I'm happy to share that. So you guys have a great one wherever you are, and take care. Bye, guys.